Why China fears the Americans' F-35B. The first of its kind F-35B fighter jet with short takeoff and vertical landing capability is now a threat factor possessed by the U.S. Navy amphibious assault ships across the world. The jet has many merits, yet one key factor eclipses all of the others. China does not have an equivalent. It's well known that China is rapidly developing an aircraft carrier-launched variant of its fifth-generation J-31 aircraft to perhaps rival the F-35B and F-35C jets when it comes to maritime warfare power projection. But there does not appear to be any kind of vertical takeoff capability emerging within the Chinese military. This is important because a vertical takeoff and hover ability brings an entirely new dimension to maritime warfare. The technology allows a smaller ship, such as an amphibious ship, to operate with the kind of fifth-generation fixed-wing fighter jet support typically thought of as only being possible with aircraft carriers. This would allow an amphibious assault operation to rely on its own organic fifth-generation air support. Should amphibious assault vehicles, ship-to-shore transport landing craft, Osprey helicopters, and attack drone vessels all launch from an amphibious-ready group, then the military force would not need to rely upon fighter jet support from aircraft carriers within striking range. The USS America, the first of the Navy's now emerging America-class amphibious ships, has traveled long distances of key deployments carrying as many as 13 F-35B jets on board. The America-class amphibious ships have been specifically modified and engineered to house and operate F-35B jets. The F-35B jet's ability to hover can bring previously unanticipated advantages to the amphibious assault, given the aircraft's drone-like ability to conduct intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance missions. Its 360-degree cameras, long-range targeting technology, and onboard computing enable the aircraft to gather and disseminate various video feeds from great distances. This, combined with its ability to hover above the surface in support of an approaching amphibious operation, might provide an attacking force with new levels of forward visual scouting, threat assessments, or close air support capability. Of course, that hover ability, assisted by advanced automation and software, is what enables an F-35B jet to perform a vertical landing on an amphibious ship without needing a runway. The F-35B jet is able to hover due to the construction of a lift fan technology that was built into the center fuselage, which is just behind the pilot. This generates massive downward vertical thrust, sending horsepower to the lift fan from the main engine through a spiral bilevel gear system, according to Rolls-Royce, which has a division dedicated to making engines for military equipment. The lift fan looks like a square door on top of the fuselage behind the pilot, intended to generate downward airflow needed to enable vertical landing. The lift fan feeds air into the engine, much like any aircraft engine would in some respects. Air ducts on either side of the nose suck in air to the engine. The air is then compressed before being ignited with gas, generating what looks like a controlled explosion of fire coming out of the back. The force generated through this process enables the speed, maneuverability, and acceleration of the aircraft. Mechanical information provided by Rolls-Royce, which makes the F-35B engine, states that to achieve STOVL, the lift fan component of the lift system operates perpendicular to the flow of air over the aircraft. The lift fan can operate in crosswinds up to 288 miles per hour, according to the Rolls-Royce data. Given all this, if China were to rely on an aircraft carrier capable of launching fifth-generation fighter jets during a military mission, then the country would likely operate at a significant deficit when it comes to countering an amphibious assault or conducting attack operations requiring smaller ships. How the F-35 stealth fighter jet could change North Korea's calculus. Although the unstable North Korean regime could test some kind of nuclear weapon or new ballistic missile to intimidate South Korea, the possibility of the Hermit Kingdom launching a massive mechanized ground assault across the DMZ cannot be fully discounted. Clearly, South Korea should be prepared to repel some kind of armored assault from the north. This kind of deterrence could be achieved by simply maintaining a modernized, trained, and well-equipped army to defend the border. But it also stands to reason that preventing this kind of attack could be the main reason why South Korea is acquiring the F-35 fighter jet. Why North Korea hates the F-35. It's clear that a stealthy fifth-generation fighter jet, such as the F-35 jet, gives South Korea a massively increased ability to destroy North Korean air defenses, achieve air superiority, or even track and attack the North's known arsenal of road-mobile missile launchers. Beyond that, a fleet of F-35 jets could prove decisive and impactful in any kind of defensive stand against a North Korean invasion. This is particularly true given the glaring discrepancy between the North and South Korean armies. GlobalFirepower.com lists North Korea as now operating a sizable 1.3 million-man active-duty force, with millions more in paramilitary support. Their military reportedly operates as many as 6,000 tanks and 10,000 armored vehicles, alongside a well-known arsenal of medium-range ballistic missiles capable of reaching major South Korean cities. South Korea, by comparison, is listed by Global Firepower as having only 600,000 active-duty forces, several million fewer paramilitary-capable soldiers when compared to North Korea. Why Seoul needs the F-35. What this means is that having massive air superiority in the form of an F-35 force gives South Korea a very credible and realistic chance of destroying an invasion from a much larger North Korean army. North Korean troops could be killed from the air. Also, ideally, any mobile ballistic missile launcher on North Korean territory could be destroyed from the air by South Korean F-35 jets. Accordingly, would it be a stretch to suggest that having a fleet of ready F-35 jets might actually save South Korea? Maybe. It would seem that given the known capabilities of the F-35 jet and the obvious absence of any kind of North Korean equivalent, a South Korean F-35 force might make a North Korea invasion far less likely. Add to this overall equation the networking and allied advantages associated with the F-35 jet. South Korea's deterrence posture will be greatly fortified and strengthened by a large Japanese F-35 force, along with a regular U.S. presence of F-35C armed carrier aircraft and F-35B armed amphibious ships. South Korea's deterrence posture will be greatly fortified and strengthened by a large Japanese F-35 force, along with a regular U.S. presence of F-35C armed carrier aircraft and F-35B armed amphibious ships. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.